Chrissy Paradis here with America's Wealth Coach and best-selling author, Coach Pete D'Arruda. And we're going to have some fun today because there's a list of 20 things folks might not know about Coach Pete.
Yeah.
And we're going to dive into some of your answers.
You know, I'm an open book.
They're fascinating.
But it's hard to figure out to be sometimes. So let's help people. Let's help everybody out there figure out who I am and what makes me tick.
We're going to start with...
Oh, by the way.
Yes.
We're filming this on December 14th, 2023. And we have our company Christmas party tonight.
Yes.
So that's why I have a Christmassy shirt on. Got snowflakes, got pine cone, North Carolina, the Pine State.
I love the shirt.
Candy canes, bells. We've got anything you can think about. We got bells, but no whistles.
I
bells
like
and whistles.
that.
But
As
anyway,
a
let's
football
have some
fan.
fun. How's that?
Let's dive into the first question.
Okay.
The 3 words that people use to describe you: fiduciary, compassionate, and client-oriented.
Yeah, that about sums it up. I've always, I've been in this financial arena for 32 years now, and I've always tried to treat every single client as a family member. You know, we've seen our events. We have great events with our clients, and everyone seems to have a good time. And fiduciary, we've been practicing that from the day I started. That is putting clients' needs ahead of our needs. That's common sense.
Yeah.
But there's so many folks in the financial industry who haven't been doing it the correct way that the regulators had to get involved and say, now we have a fiduciary standard. And the worst thing is someone claiming to be a fiduciary who isn't a fiduciary.
Right.
I would argue that someone who is putting you all in risk all the time, how are they a fiduciary? They're great. They're great buddies when the market's going up. What happens when the market goes down? What happens if your retirement gets taken away tomorrow when you're going to retire next week? Taken away by the market swooping down and going down 40, 50%. That's happened before, Chrissy. I'm not, and I hope it doesn't happen again, but if you structure your money correctly, you never have to worry about it happening again, because if it does, you're fine, because all your money's not at risk anyway.
Right.
So it's just important to, and compassionate. I'm very compassionate about what I do. I have a lot of passion, and when I believe in something, I go full tilt on it. And sometimes it rubs people the wrong way. I get so passionate, but I'll tell you who it rubs the wrong way: people who I expose, other brokers who are loading your accounts up with financial termites. Too much risk, too many fees, and lots of commissions. You don't need to do any of that, but you don't know what you don't know. So that's why I answered those 3.
Well, they still hold up. Next on the list was, if happiness was the national currency, what kind of work would make you rich? Being in front of a radio microphone, sharing actionable financial and retirement advice with millions of people daily. Yep. How about that one?
Well, it's just fun. Yep. To me, I couldn't think of anywhere I'd rather be. And so people say, what are you going to do when you retire, Coach? Well, I'm not going to retire. I'll either die on my way to work or on my way home from work or at work. I'm not going to go anywhere. And so people need to know that. I have no goals or aspirations other than doing this the rest of my life.
Rock it till the wheels fall off.
That's right.
I love that. Next up, one thing folks might not know about you is that growing up, you never once burned your Jiffy Pop popcorn, which is an accomplishment in and of itself.
That's the most interesting fact, I think, that a lot of people, it's one that no one would have thought about.
Right.
It's the first thing that came to my head when I saw that question. So I was told by the person putting the questions together, the first thing that comes to your head, I want you to write it down. And I was proud of myself.
You should be.
Even in the Boy Scouts. Now, the Boy Scouts, we had camping trips. I'd bring some Jiffy Pop. I was a hero back, by the way, an unsung hero on those trips, because all the guys would circle around, because nobody even thought about popcorn, but you can smell popcorn a mile away, can't you?
Oh, yes.
Probably had some bears coming over to want some, too. We never saw that. But even on the campfire, having to shake that Jiffy Pop and not burning a kernel was pretty good.
Impressive.
They still make Jiffy Pop, by the way.
They do.
Saw that in the store the other day.
I haven't mastered that art yet, but I'll take some
It's
some
nothing worse than
pointers.
burnt popcorn, smell or taste.
Exactly. When you were a child growing up, you wanted to be a policeman or a fireman.
I did. I was fascinated by the sirens, and I always wanted to be able to flip the lights on and go fast.
Well, you still could.
Yeah.
Next
But
up,
I like doing what I'm doing too much. And basically, firemen help people, and policemen protect you. So firemen save you from bad things, and policemen protect you from bad things. So I do both of those in the financial world. I'm like a fireman, I save you from bad things, and I'm like a policeman, I protect you from bad things, and I don't let bad people get away with things.
Yeah, putting out fires.
Putting out fires all the time that are created by other advisors.
Yep. Next up, what you're most grateful in your life is you're most grateful for the ability to put yourself in others' shoes and feel what most are feeling, and being born with compassion.
Yeah.
And it's so true. I see that all the time working with you.
If our world was more like this, we'd have a lot less problems. If people would say, well, let me put myself in Chrissy's shoes and see what would happen if I told her to go run in traffic for a couple hours? That whatever. People don't put themselves in other people's shoes. They don't have any compassion. They don't really care. No, I'm not saying everybody. I'm just saying in general, what I see is we're so impersonal of a society these days because these things,
yes.
phones, these were supposed to simplify life, make it more simple. Has it made it more simple?
Not
No.
at all. It's a depreciating asset, compassion is.
I remember packing for a vacation back in the day, and you actually had to pack flash bulbs, film, and a camera. Flash bulbs, film, and a camera.
It's
right
all
here.
there.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing what a phone does, but at the same time, it's made us more looking at this than looking at this. And so I've known we have some younger people on our broadcasting side, and many times I'll be trying to have a meeting with them and talking to them, and all they're doing is looking here, and I say, I'd like to see your eyes once in a while.
Sure.
So it's just important to put yourself in others' shoes.
Absolutely.
And if you do that, you really feel when you've done something wrong, and you feel it right away.
Yes.
So.
Oh, that is so true. Next up, the best advice that you've ever been given is a team is only as strong as its weakest member, so be careful who you associate with.
Yeah, and same thing in the financial world. The financial world's a great place. There's products and strategies for everybody out there.
Right.
But unfortunately, what I've seen when people come in to meet with me and go through a review of what they have with their other advisor, it looks like many times their advisor was motivated by commissions and not by putting the people in the right place. And so we just want to make sure that people take advantage of all the horsepower and potential the financial world gives you without having it taken away by a bad advisor.
Oh, that's so true. This next one is interesting with the timing. Your top 3 all-time favorite movies: Office Space, Rudy, and Christmas Vacation. How appropriate.
Well, it's a good laugh. And so I also like Die Hard around Christmas time with Bruce Willis.
Yippee-ki-yay.
Yes, and so very sad what's happened to Bruce the last couple of years. But yeah, we look at Office Space, just a comedy. I'm a comedy kind of guy. I like to laugh. If you can't, like Jim Valvano said, you got to laugh and cry and have a good thought every day, and it's not a wasted day. So I love to laugh. I've been known to cry every now and then when people don't see me, hopefully. You don't see me cry. But you got to cry. Your emotions are here, and I do wear them on my sleeve. And if you do that, you don't let things build up and you don't explode in the future. So it's just important to have a couple movies you like to see and can watch over and over again and not get bored with. And those 3 movies there, I could watch them every single day.
They're classics. Your greatest achievement and how it has shaped you, building a nationally syndicated radio show when a lot of people said that was an impossible feat to accomplish, and helping others gain that financial knowledge that is so necessary.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Coach Pete DeRuda, and if you're tired of secrets, give us a call for a free financial second opinion to get you on the financial road that you deserve. 2004 is when I started the radio, believe it or not.
Amazing.
So now we're as we're filming this, we're right at the end of 2023, so we're coming up on the 20-year anniversary of the show.
Congratulations.
And, I was talking to my buddy Dick Vitale about that in his new book too. We did a book together. Dick Vitale, very great guy too, by the way.
He's
famous
awesome,
sportscaster.
baby.
And it's just about making sure that we do the right thing in everything we do in life. It's just amazing when you look at all the things that are possible. And so Dick believed in me. When I tried to get on the radio the first time, I was laughed right out of the radio studio, local station here. So I had to expand my perimeter. Ended up an hour and 15 minutes away from the Apex area the Raleigh area, in a town called Southern Pines. WEEB was the station down there. They put me on, and the rest is history.
Wow.
The station manager there, been a really great buddy over the years, Steve Adams. He actually welcomed me into his studio and sat there and was my co-host for a while until we got big enough to I could hire my own co-host. So
wow.
He was a great guy, still is a great guy.
Amazing origin story.
Yeah.
The book that has influenced you the most, Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, because it taught you some dreams can become a reality if you believe them 100% and practice that daily.
It's a great book.
I haven't read that yet.
Oh, you need a book. Yeah, I mean, it should be on your bookshelf, and you should read it every year because it's a reference manual more than a book. So there's certain books in our life that really mean something.
Right.
I still remember one of my favorite books ever. We had to read in either 5th or 6th grade, maybe 7th grade. It was To Build a Fire by Jack London. I know you probably didn't read that, did you?
Not yet.
So, they made us read that back in the day, but it's a really good book.
Adding that to my list. One of the things that you have not done in your life that you really want to do. Visit the Great Pyramid, which is the largest of all the Egyptian pyramids.
Any kind of pyramid I'd like to see. I know Mexico, they have some the Mayan ruins down there, and I'd like to do that. Not so much of a fan about going to Egypt these days, as a white man.
Sure.
So I don't want to be a target.
Right.
But it's amazing what now with the internet you can visit without really going there. It's not
Google
the same.
Earth, yeah.
Until they invent smells to go along with the sights and touch, and they will. You know, whoever thought you'd be able to send music through your phone or through the internet?
Right.
Or a video. We video this, we send it halfway across the world in 2 seckets. It's amazing.
Right. That's so true.
Life never amazes me. All the different things that we've lived through in our life, and you in your life. I mean, you're 30 something, right? So,
yeah.
And I'm 50 something, almost 60. So I've seen a whole lot more than you have, and you're going to see a whole lot more than I'm going to see because there's so much more coming.
Well, maybe we'll get a chance to visit the pyramids virtually together.
Yeah,
you never
that's
know.
cool. We can always do that.
Next up, your favorite quote and who said it. You don't know what you don't know by Yogi Berra. Amazing.
Mr. Yogi Berra, famous baseball player, New York Yankees. He had so many great quotes. Another one he said, when you see a fork in the road, you know what a fork in the road is?
Take it.
You take it.
Yep.
What does that mean? So it's just funny how and I don't know if he was doing this on purpose or if it really made sense to him, some of the things, because he said so many cool sayings like that. Mm-hmm. To me, I think his mind just thought differently than what we do. A great guy.
I love that.
Yep.
And if you could have dinner with any one person, living or dead, who would it be and why? You said Ben Franklin, because he was so smart and futuristic, ahead of his time.
He never stopped inventing things, where he never stopped wondering about stuff. And to me, that reminds me of, I don't invent a lot of things, as far as flying kites in thunderstorms, but I do invent a lot of financial terms, which is pretty cool, and did invent the radio show.
Right.
But Ben Franklin, just an amazing guy. It would be fun to talk to him.
Absolutely.
Yep.
The words of wisdom that you would pass on to your childhood self. So, Lil Pete, enjoy every minute and don't let the worries of today keep you from doing the things that will make you stronger tomorrow.
You know, so many days I wasted in college worrying about the term paper that I had to do or the exam and putting off studying or putting off writing it, and then never putting off the worry, though. If I would have just done it right away, be done and you'd be happy. Because when I did my term papers ahead of time, I was happier because I had time, like the whole semester, to go back and make changes. Whereas the way I usually did it, I'd do it the night before, and back then we had typewriters. We had no word, again, the advancement of technology, and I wasn't the best typer. I was one of these kind of guys, so I had a bunch of whiteout. So I never want to go back there.
If you could change one thing about yourself, it would be that you wish you liked to jog. I can relate.
I did that a few years ago, those answers.
You want to amend it?
And so I do want to amend it. I wish I was taller.
Well.
But I know some tall guys, and they have their own set of problems. Marty Hensley, 7-footer, when we fly together, he has to fly in the first seats of first class.
For the leg?
Because he can't fit anywhere else. He's 7 feet tall. He said, I can't take my legs off and put them in the overhead compartment. Like he's got so much leg pipes, I call them, and not enough room for his leg pipes to go. So I'd like to be taller. But jogging, the reason I put that is I played soccer growing up, so our coaches always made us run, and I was in great shape back then. I hated the coach, though. And so I've tried to jog myself, but if there's nobody there making me do it, I don't do it. So that's why.
Well, if you could speak to everyone in the world at the same time, you would say, everyone, give me a penny. Yeah.
Well, that was my favorite thing right there when that question came out. If I could speak to everybody out there and tell them just one thing, it would be, give me a penny. Because you know how many people are out there? And I don't care if it's only a penny. When you get billions of pennies coming in, it adds up. And so I thought that was pretty ingenious.
It is. You are a financial visionary after all.
And everybody out there can build, we talk about an example on our show. If you had a penny, starting with a penny, you see it on the ground, it's on head, so you pick it up. And you double it every day for 30 days, 1 month. Mm-hmm. Guess how much that one penny that you keep doubling would be worth?
$1?
$10 million more.
I was way off.
Say that's the value of compounding. Once you have your money in a place that you can't lose it and it's always growing, you're in control. And that's the magic of the money world. A lot of people watching don't really know where their money is, and they sure don't have any control over it. So at least take some of that money and put it in a place you can control it. We use the rule of 100 to decide how much money you should be under your control. Being under your control means you can't lose it. It's yours. You've got possession of it, and you want to grow it as well. So if you're 60 years old watching, 60% of your money it should be in an account like that, a GPI account. Growth, protection, lifetime income. You grow your money, you protect your growth, it never goes down. You grow it again, you protect it, and then when you decide, you get lifetime income you can never outlive. It's ingenious. It's one of the best inventions ever in the financial industry.
Wow. And one of your favorite heroes, a person who I know that you have done an interview with, Sully Sullenberger.
Oh yeah, Sully, what a great guy. He responded well under pressure. He told me, he said, Coach, I practiced this same event. I practiced in my head over and over again. What would happen if we lost both engines? I don't know if he ever told me he would lose the engines because of birds striking, but he said, what if both engines went out? Yeah. It's a 767 plane, jetliner. There's 2 engines, 1 on each wing. And they both went out because Canadian geese flew into there and just burned them out. I was so proud of the fact that he overcame the NTSB was trying to make him look like the guilty party. Yeah. We're talking about a almost $400 million jet that was waterlogged and unflyable forever. And so you got insurance companies wanting to sue the airline wanting to blame the pilot's union wanting to blame the airline. It all went again. It was no one's fault what happened. Canadian geese, it's an act of God, they call it nature. But the way he responded, because he had gone over in his head and he had his what I call his autopilot in his head. And we have our retirement autopilot for our clients to make sure that they're always in control no matter what happens, and nothing worse than losing both engines when you're way high in the air.
Right.
At no airport near. It's just amazing what he did.
Wow.
Landing the plane in the Hudson. It was December, by the way, or January. January it was cold. It's supposed to be, but that was a beautiful day in New York City. There was no ice on the water. The water was perfectly still, and he was able to, and no wind. He was able to land the plane right in the Hudson. And any pilot who's ever talked about water landings, even with those small planes, is always worried about flipping or everyone dying because of the centrifugal force coming in so fast, and your plane going out of control. So it's just amazing to this day that they were able to do that.
True American hero.
Yeah, one of my biggest heroes ever.
One of your most treasured memories. You went to go see the Green Monster at Fenway Park in Boston with your grandfather when you were 8 years old.
Yep. And looking back at it now, my grandfather grew up. He was a self-employed carpenter. He actually built the house that my mom was born in, and that's where he never moved. They lived in that same house. My aunt was right around the corner. They had this big piece of land. It was like 4 different houses, all different relatives right there. And so not much money. I mean, carpenter jobs weren't like they are these days. They weren't putting houses up all over the place.
Sure.
And so the house was immaculate. He always said nothing was ever broken. And then when he passed away, my Uncle George was very lazy. He sat in front of a TV set most of the time and just watched TV. He had one of those big TV sets. He used to take 3 people to move the TV set in. Remember that? And so it broke. So then he put a 20-inch on top of that. It broke. And so that before Uncle George died, he had a 13-inch TV right on top of his TV tower. I actually did get to see the pyramids. I saw the TV pyramid. The
original TV pyramid.
And so it's just amazing how my grandfather was such a go-getter and doer and hard worker, and my Uncle George was the opposite. Right. And my Uncle George was my grandpa's son. So yeah, I was just going back to the Fenway to be able to take me to Fenway Park. It's not cheap. The Fenway Franks, the hot dogs, the trip. I really appreciated it back then. I really appreciate it now more than I know or see that my grandpa really didn't have any money to do that.
Right.
So money isn't everything, but it helps you form some memories. And I really remember and appreciate what he spent on me going to the bowl game like that.
And if you were to die tomorrow, your biggest regret would be not living another year.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if I die today, I wish I could have lived tomorrow. So nobody wants to die. Nobody wants to pass away. You just need to know if you do, you're leaving a good legacy behind. I've written 6 or 7 books myself and co-written like 3 or 4 others. So even when I pass away, my books will live on. You're helping me edit the new book that's coming out, the book on retirement, by the way. Looking forward to that. And so, yeah, life's too short. So enjoy it goes back to what I say, enjoy every minute. If you walk around sad all the time, the only person you're hurting is yourself. Because everybody else isn't going to be around. They don't want to be around you anymore if you're like that all the way. So they're going to avoid you, and your life's going to get even worse. So be nice, be friendly, be somebody that people look forward to being around.
If you could live in a book, TV show, or movie, what would it be and why?
Yeah.
Willy Wonka was your answer. Do you want to keep that or amend
of course.
that?
I still like I have the biggest sweet tooth you ever saw. Prehistoric days, I'd be the saber-toothed sweet tooth.
I like that.
So No, Willy Wonka, what an amazing movie, and they've remade it a couple times now over the years because people are fascinated by unlimited chocolate.
I love that idea.
And the everlasting gobstopper is what was I used to love hard candy like that, the red hot balls and the gobstopper jawbreakers. And so the parallels to the everlasting gobstopper in the financial world, if you could have a everlasting gobstopper in the financial world, in other words, have a financial product that would never go away and you could always get income from it when you want to hear about it. And that's what we do. We have the everlasting gobstopper in the financial world where you can have unlimited income. You can, in other words, you can't outlive your income in there. Even if your balance goes to zero, you still get income. And if you pass away, your spouse still gets that income. If you haven't found out about that, you really need to research that and find out what makes a true retirement plan. Keep in mind, I'm a retirement income certified professional. I am trained to make sure retirees and pre-retirees build income plans they can never outlive. So if you want to go to a specialist, you go to a specialist. If I have a heart problem, I don't go to general doctor or dentist. I go to a heart surgeon. If you have an income problem, which everybody does, we're looking at retirement, wanting to build our retirement income plans, go to the professional, someone who's certified in putting plans together just like this for people just like you.
Well, 20 things that folks wanted to know about Coach in 22 minutes or less. I think that's pretty impressive.
It was almost 2020, wasn't it?
Right? Well, thank you so much, Coach.
It's fun, Chrissy, and I just want people to know and challenge you to enjoy yourself. And it's a lot easier to enjoy yourself when you have a plan and you're confident in your plan, and the plan's done by a fiduciary organization. And one step further, your income plan is designed by someone who's certified to put it together to make sure it works for you. Great to see you.
Too.
Great to see you guys, too.
Please welcome to the stage a man best known as Coach Pete. Peter J. DeRuda, known as America's wealth, income, and financial coach. Coach Pete knows how to get his message out and does it across multiple media platforms, including television, radio, podcasts, and social media. He's the recipient of 4 Emmy Awards, 4 Telly Awards, and 2 Quillies. He's more than a media guru. Coach Pete is a master registered financial consultant. He holds the prestigious Retirement Income Certified Professional designation. That means Coach Pete and his team are specialists in planning the most important phase of your life, retirement income. He's the former president of the IARFC, a global financial planning association. He's authored 8 books, including America Asks Coach and the Amazon bestseller, 7 Baby Steps to a Ridiculously Reliable Retirement Income.
As we look into 2012,
For 2 decades, Coach Pete has been on the forefront of media communications, from radio to television to today's social media explosion.
what inspired you to write the Don't Worry, Retire Happy book?
Well, I had given the paychecks and paychecks.
When networks like CNBC and Fox Business need an expert in financial planning and retirement, Coach Pete is often the first call.
In retirement, I've seen way too many people spend way too much money.
Every day, he informs and entertains millions, all while imparting common sense retirement insight.
Let's be honest, that word retirement can mean so many different things to so many different people.
From his professional radio and television studios at Coach Pete Land in North Carolina, he's created a variety of radio and television shows heard weekly around the country, including Rock On Retirement, A+ Retirement, America's 401k Show, and the flagship program that started it all, the Financial Safari.
So hello folks, it's Coach Pete right here this week on the Financial Safari.
Coach Pete is also one of Dave Ramsey's SmartVestor Pros and can be found on Dave's website as a financial pro with the heart of a teacher.
And if I can get up every day and help one person and learn one thing for myself, it's not been a wasted day.
Please welcome national radio and television star and best-selling author, Coach Pete DeRuda.